Hi there, this is Shauna from the Foil Fox, and I'm so glad you're joining me today. I'm using a stamp set that is from Penny Black called Nature's Garland, and it has so many wonderful things on it. I'm going to be using the pine branch and that little wispy bit. You can see how many things it has here. But I'm using that pine branch and that wispy one. But you will see the mistletoe I'll use later, but this berry one you maybe saw with a project that I did not too long ago. That's that berry branch. So as you can see, there's so many ways that this stamp set can really weave into your work. I have a piece of cold press watercolor paper. You can use hot press if you prefer, and a card base. They are this is 4.5 by 6, and I'm making sure that it fits perfectly on there, that it is not, that the card base isn't bigger than the panel, because I don't want to trim anything. And then you'll see that I have lots and lots of archival ink sitting out here. I'm only going to be using 3 of them, but I'm showing you how many different ones there are, and you can choose which ones that you like. Any of these will work. Here's the VersaFine Claire. I am using the Rainforest and the Shady Lane, but here's the Archival, Ranger Archival, and then all of these others. So any of those will work. I'm going to put them all in the supply list so you can choose what you like. Now I'm taking this is some craft tape. This is from Spellbinders. I happen to really like this tape because it comes off really nicely and cleanly. And I'm putting it in my stamp positioner and going to tape it down to that surface right there, that mouse pad surface. I'm being really careful that I'm lining it up with that grid mark, because that will make easy work for me to have a nice border all the way around, a 1/4 inch border. So I'm using that grid to line it all up and then put the tape down. You can see how easily it comes up if you need to reposition it. But I'm going to put it all the way around so that when I do some painting, that I can have, when it's finished, I can peel this off and have a really nice white border. Now I have that on there pretty securely, and I have 2 distress inks. This one's Faded Jeans and Speckled Egg. I have some clean water and a fairly large paintbrush, and I'm just adding some clean water onto my panel right now, and then I'm going to start out with the Speckled Egg. Going to add especially from the left top, and then all the way across the top and down the left side, and then I'm going to graduate that. When I want to add a little bit darker, I'm adding a mix of Speckled Egg and the Faded Jeans. And I'm now, if you want to have a softer background, then kind of stop right here and don't add any more. But I continue to add more, and I did with a very loose brush with a lot of water in it. I did want to splatter on some different colors, both the Faded Jeans and the Speckled Egg. Then here is the stamp sets, as you saw before, and I'm going to choose, we're going to use that pine branch, but I'm going to choose this wispy one first. I think it makes a really nice background. Now, by the way, my panel is really dry right now, so I made sure it was super dry. And I'm getting just kind of an idea where I want to position them. I'm going to stamp it 3 times. And once I have it in my head where I want it to go, I'm going to stick it to the door. I'm going to use some brown archival ink. This one happens to be Vintage Photo, but as I mentioned, you can use any. You can actually use distress inks here if you like, but I like the archival because if I do apply any more water to it, that it's not going to blur it out. Now I'm barely kissing the paper, and I am not stamping all the way up to the very top stem. I'm just stamping a few times, just very lightly, and I'm not doing the very top. I just want it to be really wispy, really just kind of there but not there. So I'm going to stamp it one more time. And if you can remember, I'm just kind of by memory remembering where I put that stamp. And I'm going to stamp that down. I want this one to go quite low, but still leaving room for a sentiment. Now that I have that in place, I've taken the pine one, and you can see I've used this and trying it out, and I am using some of that Shady Lane, but and I'm also using a little bit of the brown. I like the brown. I'm also going to use the rainforest. The rainforest adds a little bit of blue green, and I'm going to kind of tap that on. If you don't want to see more of the blue green, then don't use that one. And in fact, later on, I'll show you a card after this one is finished that I had made one earlier where I had not used the rainforest. And I was just wanting to, I thought that I would add a little bit of this blue green in there as well. Now we're just going to add these around, and you have to kind of look through where the branches are that you stamped already, and then the ones that you, where you want to stamp. And I'm very careful to just stamp really kind of the bottom portions of this. And when it gets up to the branch where I have already stamped, I'm very careful about not over stamping the branches. That way I don't have to mask anything. I can just kind of fake these in by not inking the stamp all the way to the top. I'm just doing, see how I just did like the bottom half on that one. And I'm just moving these around to create a really nice pine bough. That's my goal. This card is a rather serene, wintry card, and sometimes I just really like those. So I don't know if you happen to enjoy them too. I hope you do. And this is a good way to make a really nice, serene card. And I'm just stamping these branches in here. It'd also be very pretty if, you know, I had cut out a circle and just stamped a few of these branches, and so you could see peeking through that circle that I cut out some of these branches. There's so many ways that you can use this. And in some places I don't stamp very much. I want it to be, you know, lighter. And in some places like there, I'm going to let that be a little bit kind of ghosty, a little bit lighter, to give it all a little bit of dimension. And you can see that rainforest is really peeking through that more blue-green color. And now I've got those all done. Now I want you to stop right here, and I want you to see where we're at, because I'm going to continue on how I continued on. But if you stopped right here and did it the right way, then that's where you would want to add snow. But you'll see what I mean in just a minute. I was using the Jolly Snippets. That's a fabulous stamp set. Has a million things you can choose from. And I stamped it with Stormy Sea because Stormy Sea ink is green and it is gray. And I thought it would be perfect for that. So I peeled this all off, and it reveals this beautiful border, which I just love. But then, and I went ahead and I adhered it to my card panel. And you want to be sure that when you're using archivals, by the way, they have a longer open time. So be sure it's very dry before you turn it upside down to apply glue or double stick tape in this place. And you can see I'm making sure none of that tape is hanging off the edge. And I'm going to just put it right on top of the card base. So you'd think I was all done, but I had forgotten my snow. And so back, if you noticed just a little bit ago when I said stop right there, that's when if I was smart, I would have added the snow, but I didn't remember it. So I'm adding the tape back on just very lightly, and I'm going to tape over even the sentiment, and I'm going to now splatter some snow using my favorite Dr. P.H. Martin Bleed Proof White. So I've loosened it a little bit with water, put it on my my mat, and I've splattered it, and now I'm just touching it, making a little bit bigger places where it's a little bit bigger snowflakes that have come down. I like to add those in. Now you can add as much snow as you like, but now that I've added my snow, I'm going to just peel this off. But remember, if you would have done it before, when it was already still on the mat, you wouldn't have had to reapply the tape. And now I've taken it off of my sentiment too. Now here is the one that I have did before, and you can see I did not use the rainforest that has the blue grain. Here we're going to visit again. This is the one that I just demonstrated that has the blue green in it. It does liven it up a little bit, and so if you like that look, it also has a little bit darker background. But you can see on the right, that's the one where I made the background a little bit lighter, and I used a little bit more brown, and did not use the blue-green archival ink. But with all those done, I'm not sure which one you like best. You'll have to let me know. But in the meantime, here's a few things I used: the Nature's Garland, the Jolly Snippets, some Distress and archival inks. All of the supplies, everything that I used is linked. There's a link down below. You can go there. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, we'd love it if you subscribe, and we hope to see you next time when I have another video that's kind of a companion to this one. So we'll see you next time. Bye.